Now we're pleased to hear from Ambassador Ashok. So he will speak in English, so you can take your headphones off.
Couple of points. One is, of course, that all of you are waiting for 5 o'clock. All of you must be waiting for 5 o'clock, so I assure you I will not take long. I've been helped in this fact by the fact that I didn't know that the paper was supposed to be 15 minutes. So I calculated the total number of speakers in the afternoon, and it came to something like 3 minutes per head. So my remarks were for 3 minutes. I've expanded to about 6, which will leave you enough time for questions. So I hope you will ask lots of questions. Are you able to hear me? Yeah. You see, freedom of, I'll just make some remarks on religious freedom in India, and then I invite your comments on it. Freedom of religion in India is a fundamental right guaranteed by Article 15 and Article 25 of the Constitution of India. Modern India came into existence in 1947 as a secular nation. The Constitution's preamble states that India is a secular state. Every citizen of India has the right to practice and promote their religion peacefully. For us, secularism is also the freedom to profess no religion at all. The word secular implies that the state will not discriminate, patronize, or meddle into the profession of any religion. Individual religions or groups are shielded by adding religious rights as fundamental rights. Article 25 says that all persons are equally entitled to freedom of conscience and the right to freely profess, practice, and propagate religion, subject to public order, morality, and health. Further, Article 26 says that all denominations can manage their own affairs in the matters of religion. There are many sections of the law which prohibit hate speech and provide penalties for writings, illustrations, or speech that insult a particular community or religion. The Supreme Court in India is very vigilant, as are the high courts and other courts, in protecting people's religious rights and in the protection of individual human rights. India is an ancient culture whose spiritual roots are blanketed in the mists of time. Over 3,000 years ago, the Rig Veda, which is the oldest of the 4 Vedas of the Aryans, proclaimed, "The truth is one. The wise see it in different ways." In Hinduism, there is no single book, no commandment, no pope, no revelation that is required to be followed by anyone. You choose on an individual basis what you wish to practice, what you wish to follow. There is a veritable spectrum of beliefs within Hinduism, some of which came from philosophy, while others evolved through integration of native cults into the Hindu pantheon. Adherents are free to question and accept whatever they choose to. Over a millennia, a system of ethics, dharma, evolved, which enabled social stability to take root. Dharma is based on universal beliefs of compassion, care for the earth, and non-violence. This has also relevance insofar as human rights are concerned. India has a tradition of many kings and rulers in history who have practiced tolerance in religious matters, starting with the king who bears the name that I bear, Ashoka, Kharavela, and the Mughal king Akbar. And the way they practice secularism is not very different from the way in which we do today. India is one of the most diverse nations in the world in terms of religion. It is the birthplace of 4 major world religions: Hinduism, Jainism, Buddhism, and Sikhism. Even though Hindus form close to 80% of the population, India also enjoys multiple regions with majority populations of other religions. Islam is the largest minority religion in India. Indian Muslims form the 3rd largest Muslim population in the world, accounting for over 14% of the nation's population. Christianity first came to India with the Apostle St. Thomas in 50 AD, well before it went to Europe or anywhere else. Islamic thinkers and poets in India interacted with other faiths in India to produce Sufi philosophy and music, which synthesized the best principles contained in both the faiths. Freedom of religion has also translated into enabling India to have presidents, prime ministers, judges, ambassadors, chiefs of the military who have been Muslims, Christians, Zoroastrians, or Parsis as we call them, and Jews. 3 of Bollywood's top movie stars are Muslims, 2 of whom are married to Hindus. At one time, the leader of the ruling party in India was a Christian, the president was a Muslim, the prime minister was a Sikh, the chief justice was a Parsi, a Zoroastrian, in a nation that has 80% Hindus. India, with its traditional tolerance, has served as a refuge for groups that have encountered persecution elsewhere. These include the Jews, who came first in 562 BC, followed by, again, the Jews in 68 to 70 AD, the Zoroastrians and the Parsis, and the Baha'is, both of whom came from Iran, what is today Iran, and most recently, Tibetan Buddhists, whose leader, His Holiness the Dalai Lama, is a guest in India. All these faiths have had the freedom to practice their religions and preserve their own cultures while living amidst other Indian communities in harmony. Religion has been a factor in social stability in India. In a country with 22 languages, 13 scripts, nearly 1,000 dialects, different cultural practices, religion has been a binding factor in social stability. It has provided the common thread that links the north, south, east, and west. Through the 2 famous epics, the Ramayana and the Mahabharata, the vast majority of India's population, many of whom may not even be able to read and write, have been able to assimilate the philosophical and cultural traditions enshrined in our scriptures. Religion has therefore provided an anchor which has kept the vast mass of society in a relatively stable situation through 2 millennia of invasions from outside. This is what I wanted to say. I just wish to say that I am not a scholar of religion, but I have a great personal interest. And in fact, one of the books I wrote deals with the 10 descents of Lord Vishnu. So it's the basic interest is more personal than professional, because technically in a secular state, I cannot be subscribing to a particular religion. Please, I welcome questions.